Hello, Internet. Um, Let me go ahead and introduce myself to you as this is an introductory video. My name is Marissa Bauder. That is my pen name, or you can find me on Instagram or on Tumblr under pinksugarchiffon. That's pinksugarchiffon. Long name, yes, but cute. Um, basically, what I wanted to do with this video is just to let you know who I am. I am an author, first and foremost. I'm published by Black Opal Books, and right now I have a novel out that's called The Diseased. It's a young adult paranormal fiction novel. It's about this girl named Sable who's 16 and she can start fires with her mind. And her parents think she's crazy, so they send her to an insane asylum, and she finds other people that are just like her who can control different elements and things like that with their minds too. So, I also have a short story that's called A Pretty Good Christmas, which is published in a novel that's called Things That Go Bump for the Holidays, which is other paranormal stories that are holiday themed in a collection that's also published by Black Opal Books. And that's a companion story that goes along with The Diseased. And it's about Brandon Harper, who is Sable's love interest in The Diseased, and it's from his point of view about what he thinks about Sable. So, um, on that note, with the author stuff, I'll go with some frequently asked questions of authors. Mostly everybody asks, first of all, why did you become a writer? What do you like? Why do you like to write stories? How did you figure out that this is what you wanted to do? How do you stay motivated to do this? Um, Basically, I've been a storyteller my whole life, whether I've been just saying it out loud or in my head. A lot of the times it was in my head. Um, and just I felt the need one day to write stuff down. It started with that I would write poetry and everybody's teenage angst all the time. So I would write my teenage angst poetry down and keep it in composition notebooks in my backpack and never let them see the light of day. Um, then it transitioned to, well, I wonder if I can write a short story. And I never figured that I had the patience to write a short story. Um, I tried, I couldn't do it. It's really difficult for me to go do just that small bridge version of something because I either have way more to say than that or not enough to say about it. So then I was introduced by my lovely stepmother to the NaNoWriMo, which is the National Novels Writing Month program. It's every November, and you're supposed to write 50,000 words in the month of November, and ta-da, you have a novel when you're done. Some people's have been published, some people's not. So I decided to go ahead and try. And at the time, Twilight movie was coming out. It was the very first Twilight film was coming out, and I had seen a preview for it, and I was like, "What is this about?" So I had already had a fascination with vampires, Anne Rice novels, contraband Anne Rice novels under my bed when I was a kid. Um, so I decided I wanted to write my own vampire story because there were all these different vampire lore things, and so I just wanted to write one of my own. And it kind of ended up being like this mishmash of things between that and like sort of kind of the Lord of the Rings and other mythical things. So um, I wrote it out and I decided I wasn't happy with it being 50,000 words. I wanted to write more. So I kept writing and I kept writing, and all of a sudden it was 150,000 words long. And when you go into writing, when you're professionally writing, everything is by word count. It's not about how many pages it is because everybody uses a different font, a different size of font. Um, so that's the page length is really subjective, and everybody uses different writing programs, yada yada, so on and so forth. So they just go by word count for everything. So anyway, I had this pretty long novel. 150,000 words is pretty lengthy. I'd say that's kind of standard for the young adult novel nowadays, I think. Um, so I got with the program Savvy Authors, savvyauthors.com. Um, I was a member. You don't have to be to participate in everything, but you do, whether you're a member or not, you pay for classes to better your writing or to figure out how to get published. And they have different events where publishers are looking for manuscripts, which is what your book is before um, somebody signs a contract for it and it becomes a book. So I took a few classes and I sent my novel out, and I got a few emails back. They all said no. There were a few problems with my plot and my characters, and so on and so forth. So, meanwhile, while I'm trying to shop out this novel that I had written for NaNoWriMo, I was writing The Diseased. And I took all that information that I got from um, all the editors who I'd sent my first novel to that told me no, and told me, and the ones that were kind enough to tell me why this needed tweaking and this, that, and the other thing, because not all editors will do that for you. So I took their advice because obviously they know better than I do. They're into the industry, and at the time I was not. So I took their advice and I applied that to The Diseased, and another after I had finished it and I had let a few of my friends read it, and the ones who I trusted to critique it did that for me and told me, this is inconsistent, or this needs a little bit of work, because nothing comes out of your mind to your computer or your paper or whatever, however you're writing it down. Nothing comes out perfect the first time or the second time or the third time. So I had people edit it for me, and then I went back over it again and made sure I thought everything was absolutely perfect before I went back to Savvy Authors and um, submitted my manuscript to Black Opal Books. And at first they wanted the first chapter, because there's some people they'll want the first three chapters, some people want just the first chapter, some people want the whole manuscript right up front. It just depends on either what they're looking for or how intriguing your idea is or how well you've written it, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. So I sent the first chapter, and then I sent the first three chapters after my editor had requested more, and then she wanted the whole manuscript. So I sent that in, and then I was offered a contract. And I kind of weaseled my way into it and said, well, I intended on this being a three-book series, just to let you know. I don't know what you want me to do with that. And because my editor is so, so nice, and she says, I think you are well, or like you write well enough that we would be willing to go ahead and give you a three-book contract. And I was literally jumping up and down and like screaming and woke everyone up in my house. And I was reading my email on my iPhone, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And it was a great moment. And I thought I was freaking out about the one book contract, and it came back, 10 minutes later that, oh yeah, you can have a three-book contract, that's fine. And I just freaked out. So, um, it's persistence. Most of it is just persistence. You have to love what you're doing. If you don't like an idea, and believe me, I have so many ideas in my computer that I have written down, and I got maybe half a chapter, sometimes 4 or 5 chapters into it, and I'm like, oh, I don't really like this so much anymore, and quit writing it. And that'll happen. And all it takes is one idea, one brilliant idea, and we can't all just be Stephanie Meyer, where you dream about something and you wake up and you're like, oh my goodness, this is the best thing ever, and you write it down, and then everyone loves it. Or like J.K. Rowling, who decides, while you're sitting on a train, well, this would be an interesting idea to write about a little wizard boy, and to write that down and it for it to be this huge global phenomenon. And um, that's not common. I mean, you probably already knew that that wasn't common, just saying. But, that's kind of the dream. And it's a good dream to have. And all it takes is one yes to start. It doesn't matter how many people tell you no, as long as you are persistent, you listen, and you have to have your artist's eye balanced with your editing eye, because there are things that you will love and you can keep them for maybe outtakes or something, but sometimes it doesn't fit, or it like slows your plot down or stuff like that. And it's just if your editor, especially if they tell you, I think this part's not working out, listen. I mean, if you are dying to keep it in your manuscript and you, no, 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 I can't live without this, and it's the most amazing thing I've ever written down, and you can fight for what you want, but just remember, with the other half of yourself, with your editing self, there is a reason someone is telling you that this is not working in your story. So, um, that's basically in a nutshell about the author stuff. uh, if you have any questions, let me know. You can email me at marissaebauder@gmail.com. That's spelled MARISSAEBAUDER@gmail.com. Um, like I said, you can look for me on Instagram with pinksugarchiffon. I do more of my makeup stuff on there because I am a fledgling cosmetologist at this moment. So you can look for me there. You can look for me on Tumblr, also at Pink Sugar Chiffon, which I will be posting my videos to Tumblr and to YouTube. Um, that are I'm going to do mostly book reviews, book reviews, book reviews, because everybody needs those. And so I'll be doing that, and I'll just let you know up front too. A lot of those are going to be young adult because that is my passion, and I love it so much. I love reading it. I love writing it. It's all good to me. Um, but if there's anything you guys want to know, please don't hesitate to ask. If there's anything that you guys want to see, if there's a specific book that you want to know if I've read it and what I think about it, let me know. Um, and I will do my very best get to get all of your requests in. Um, just depends on if I'm broke or or if I already have the material, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. So thanks for bearing with me, guys, through my first video. Yay! And I will hopefully see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's make this blow up together, okay? Thanks. Bye, guys.